Hello all, I'm here at the Erie Art Museum in Erie, Pennsylvania on this cold and rainiest day of all, but I happened to be around here and I wanted to stop in to see Kimberly Chapman's show, 86 Reasons for Asylum Admission. It is a absolute stunner, and it's scary and frightening and very pertinent to our times today. I'm going to flip it around and you can see some of the reasons why women, in the past 100 or more years and up until, kind of recently, like the mid 1900s, were admitted to asylums for not very good reasons or for terrible reasons. Let me flip around the camera and we can go through the list just a little bit. So there was this list right here of reasons that women could be admitted to an asylum if they were inconvenient for their husbands and the husband still wanted custody of the children. They could, disappointed affection, disappointed love, dissipation of nerves, doubt about mother's ancestors. That was one of the things that could get you admitted to an insane asylum. False confinement, fall off horse, things like that. Like whatever sorry to use the word, but crazy reasons. Indigestion? Yeah, jealousy and religion, laziness, milk fever, whatever that means. Gluten, if you have like lactose intolerance, it's just crazy. But this is all part of what was accepted as a way for men to, make their lives better and get rid of an inconvenient wife, that maybe one who argued too much, talked too much, expressed her feelings a little too much. They also had a lot of things like amenorrhea, which for those of you who don't know what that is having your period. Menstruation, which is, some people it's pretty easy, some people it's not. So Kim Chapman, who is a fabulous ceramicist, and I'm going to show you how fabulous of a ceramicist and self-portrait photographer she is. She has created this amazing show with her ceramics and a lot of her beautiful self-portraits, which have just a frightening 1800s and early 1900s feel to them. And the Erie Art Museum has this crazy place here. I'm sorry, I'm going to use the word crazy quite a bit because look how amazing this little nook is, which it's beautiful and quaint as a museum edition, but can you imagine being confined in a place like this? I mean, this definitely, look at this door, okay? So I don't want that door to slam shut on me and then suddenly I'm whipped into the 1800s in an asylum. So I'm going to get out of that creepy room. One of the interesting things is this area of the museum, and I don't think that Kim requested this, is painted the colors that many of these asylums were painted. It's this pale teal green, mint green kind of color. And I thought it was really interesting because that color is also the color they paint the roofs of porches in Florida to keep the bugs away. So I don't know if they, psychologically it makes you peaceful or docile. So I'm going to pop over to some of the ceramics. This is a section where it's just an example of how she creates these scary yet tender, powerful little people that are stand-ins, she said, for all the horrible reasons for asylum admission. Some of these, like this child wrapped up in poverty and misunderstanding. These two right here, one is Cupcake and Bubblehead, which are, nicknames you might give a woman who is cute and, I don't know, maybe seemingly scatterbrained. This one is called a rope woman. She's tied up with a little gold mask, because a lot of times, you know, when you've gone through great suffering and trauma, the mask is your self-defense, and you wear that mask so that you won't fall apart, or in certain situations you won't fall apart. This one is called Really Lovely Underneath It All. And she's wrapped. And this is a beautiful gallery. I'm just going to give you a little scan around this gallery so you can just see how beautiful the gallery is, with the crazy teal mint green walls. And here Kim has done these amazing self-portrait photographs where she just really gets into the role. I mean, she is definitely an actress with these frightening things. These are, let's see, what are these ones called? Undercover, where you can just imagine maybe there was a laundry that they had some of the women in the asylums work in. Just piles and piles of raggedy clothes. This section right here is particularly macabre. These are the hands that, the story behind these hands coming out of the wall is that in certain asylums, they used to charge admission on Sundays, where people who were not in the insane asylum could come and observe the prisoners, I'm going to call them prisoners, inmates, patients, whatever you want to call them, as entertainment. And they could go in, and that would be like going to the zoo or something, and here's the coins that they had to pay. They paid money for admission, and the asylum took the money. This is another one, T for 2, with human hair, and I'm going to guess that is Kim's hair. And this is one, it's super creepy, and I don't remember the story behind it. Over here, we've got bear witness. So some of these they're cliches or idioms, bearing witness. And here she's taking it absolutely literally, where there's a bear and her eyes are covered. She's not able to be her own witness or her own advocate. Others are speaking for her. Gold medal women. These are all masked women with basically, not being allowed to speak, not be allowed to see the world, see their family, because they have been confined for reasons like reading novels too much. Some more of her amazing self-portraits. And the dichotomy between the ceramics and the photographs is absolutely perfect. It just gives you places, I'm not sure where the places are to rest, whether you can rest with the ceramics or rest with the photographs, but they really just flow beautifully together. These 3 beauties here are bird women, because one of the things that women in these insane asylums used to do is they might catch a bird that happened to pop in through the bars and keep a bird as a pet, whether it's for therapy or maybe they might eat the bird. I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, or just some little something to love. And here she's done this amazing acting with these amazing photographs. This one right here, it's called Bad Company, which was one of the reasons for asylum admission. If you were bad company, if you weren't a fun wife to be with because you were not good company, they could send you to the insane asylum. Walking by here, we're in the Haggern Gallery. And then she's got these beautiful colloidal prints. This is an old-fashioned colloidin, wet colloidin, tin-type prints. This is an old type of photography development, which I cannot tell you a thing about, but They are amazing. I love this three-handed one. That is, I'm sure, one of the 86 reasons is that one. And here her face has been blurred out. It's so exposed. Yeah, and yeah, smoking. That's another one of the things that, hey, your wife smokes a little too much. Let's get rid of her religiosity. She's found God, but maybe a little too much. She's out of there. So let's go on through. Oh, wait, you know what? There's little nooks and crannies, and here's a beautiful little nook and cranny. And look at those gorgeous French doors that open out onto State Street. This is the museum. You enter on 5th Street, which is one of the things. I got the light on for some reason. I don't want the light on, but I'm not sure how to turn it off now. It just automatically turned on. But anyway, this one right here is a beautiful escapist Amy. I love this one. I believe that Amy was somebody who tried to escape many times, or maybe her name wasn't Amy, but she used many disguises, and she disguised herself as a nurse and as another patient, and assumed different persona to try to escape. And I hope she got away. I don't know. Many of these women, their stories are completely lost. These three, I know, had to have been really tough for Kim to do. These are Dead of Winter is what it's called. And possibly one of the reasons for asylum admission is going out in the cold with not enough clothes on. And I think that's exactly what she did when she posed herself for those self-portraits. It's a beautiful little room. I'm going to admire that lovely light sconce up there too. So that is really, really cool. Let's go through. There's another room here. Okay, this is the other side of that little elevator dungeon area. Look at that. I mean, isn't that... It's amazing that there's a museum that has an elevator dungeon like this that is so perfect for this show. And, you've got these deadly looking locks there. All right. Over the mantle, these beautiful historic mantelpieces. This right here is as distinctive as you are. Okay, she made a toothbrush for every single patient of a insane asylum. Everybody, I assume, was issued a toothbrush at the beginning of their internment, and maybe that's the only one they ever got, which is why so many of these toothbrushes are just worn down to nothing, and they're not keeping anybody's teeth clean. But imagine that, and here's a tooth that fell out. But we'll go around and we'll hear a little bit more about that. This right here is Mr. Darwin, Dear Darwin. And this is one of the things I do not know the story of how Darwin relates to the asylum admission, but maybe somebody who's watching can Google it, because then you can know more than I. I'm assuming that that's one of the things is bad ancestors on the mother's side. Perhaps that is a good enough reason. All right, now here we have, because teeth have feelings too, she's made these giant macabre teeth with ties on them. They're tied up the way, I don't know if you guys remember in the cartoons, whenever somebody has a toothache, they tie a big old white rag around their head and they go, oh, they moan and everything. Well, this is in the insane asylums, one of the theories was that your insanity came from your teeth. So there would be doctors that prescribed to the the procedure of removing teeth to make you less insane. And, you know, they didn't have anesthesia back then. They didn't have Novocaine. They just yanked him with great, horrible, you know, horrible pain. One of the interesting things that Kim has done here, she has awards for championship cup trophies to male medical misogyny. So she's got 3 various doctors. Oh, this one I assume is the one that removes teeth to try to make their patients less crazy. This one, I believe, took photographs of them and recorded them in all different ways. I can't remember the story behind that one. And this one is just plain old deadly. But, oh, I'm assuming there was all kinds of horrible surgery that, that went along with this one. But it's amazingly macabre. All right, now you know what I'm gonna do, because the exhibition also goes downstairs. So we're gonna follow it a little bit. Oh, you know what? Right here, this is the intro part. This right here, Come Darling Come, it's a letter. And I'm gonna just go get very, very close. She's transcribed this letter, and the story behind that is there was a woman who had been admitted to an insane asylum, and she just wanted her husband to come visit, and she wrote letter after letter after letter, come darling, come. I don't believe he ever came, because he moved on with his life and he got her out of it. Baggage. Say no more. All right, so let's go downstairs. We've got this little hallway here. And we go downstairs, and the creepy setting and continues. There are more photographs down here in this sort of stony brick dungeon down here. And Kim with her self-portraits like this one right here. You know, it really, as an artist, it has to be hard to look at yourself in all these compromised situations. You know, and vulnerability is one of the tag words of the year. But it has to be hard to look at yourself like that, but then even more so to display it. Like, here's another stony, craggy little dungeon place where, you know, it's the elevators. The elevators go from dungeon to dungeon. And we've got this gorgeous 1800s looking beautiful photograph. All right, I'm gonna flip it around because we're gonna finish up here. All right, thank you for joining me for Living Figuratively. I highly recommend coming to see this show if you are in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's at the Erie Art Museum, and it will be here, I want to say, till like March. So I certainly could have picked a nicer day, because today is as rainy as we've ever had for like a really, really long time. But I happen to be in this area, so, you know, I was here, and I definitely wanted to see her show. But I highly, highly recommend it. Kimberly Chapman's 86 Reasons for Asylum Admission.